Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for taking the time of doing this.
Yes,
everybody will get to know you a little better. You've been with the organization for more than 30 years, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Long time.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
So, just basically everybody get a chance to know a little bit about Larry Runyan and his background and how you became an adjuster, what you did before you were an adjuster, and
I had fun. You become an adjuster, and then it turns into a lot of different kinds of work. Before you do this, it's fun. No, hell, I was raised out on the West Coast, and went in the Navy. Came out of the Navy, went to work for International Harvester. Got to the point where I had enough of the West Coast. Moved to Minnesota. Worked for International there. Then Northland Insurance called me one day and said, "Hey, we need a guy." Okay, so I went down and interviewed, took the job. I worked in-house for probably a year and a half, 2 years, and Mr. Evers, Jack Evers, called, and he was an independent at the time. He says, "Hey, we're looking for some more help." So it was Jack Evers and Craig Bender, and then I was the third one in. So and we ran together for, I don't know how many years. And then Jack got out of the adjusting business and ended up working for Northland, actually. And Craig and I were together at Nationwide for a number of years, and then Craig went out as Craig Adjustment, and then it was just me left at Nationwide, and I had guys that I had hired off and on there over the years. But a lot of time spent first learning policies, which is, I thank Northland for that, and after that it was just back to just regular shop work. It was, you walk in, look at a truck, you say, "Hey, we got this and this and this," and no, I'm not giving you 10 hours to do a 4-hour job, and go on about it.
Yeah. How long did you work for International?
Probably about 9 years.
And what did you do?
I started as an apprentice.
Okay.
As an apprentice, you are the
You
are the jack of all trades and the bottom of the rung, but you learn a lot. It's I had some great guys, great mentors when I was coming through, and obviously they thought I was quite smart because I finished the apprenticeship program, which was a 4-year program, and then within a year after that, they moved me into running the shop, and then being as a foreman, and then as a service manager. So,
okay. But
then I just had enough of California and left, and when I came back to Minnesota and went to work for International, I was back on the line, which I 100% enjoyed. Except it's a little cold.
Yeah, a little cold.
Yeah, so when Northland made the call, they actually went through a headhunter, and when they made the call, it was kind of a no-brainer to get out of that cold and then go inside, and it was a very, very good thing for me because I learned a lot. It was, and working for Northland, it's a great company, and you do learn a lot from them.
Well, you learn about policy, and
that's the big thing. You got to know coverages, and if you know the mechanical end of it, and you bring the coverages into it, really your job's pretty easy.
Yeah. That's the easiest part to learn. It's the trucking side, the repair side.
Yep. It's by far, but the nuances and all of the different policies that are written. And then you got to remember who you're working for, because you're going, "Oh God, how does their policy read?" So, but a lot of great people. Gosh darn, I tell you, I've been so fortunate to work with so many absolutely great people.
How did you get to know about the Claims Council, and how did you become a member?
Well, I knew about it back when I was working at Northland. And I want to say, I think Northland was probably a member even back then. And that would have been 77 maybe. And now I'm dating myself, of course. But so I knew about the council at that point. And then after being an independent, I knew what the requirements were to become a member. So after becoming an independent and then getting the field time, then that's when I started looking into it. And in fact, as I kind of primped Craig a little bit, I said, hey, we need to be part of this. I said, it'll be good for our business. And then Craig agreed, and then Craig became a member, and then shortly there, probably a year or so thereafter, then I put in my application and became a member, and it just, go through the testing process and meet everybody, learn the secret handshake, and
Now back then you didn't have testing.
we did. It was an oral test. I'm trying to remember who was on the committee, but I had to go through
An interview.
Dave Serafini was one of the guys, and I can't remember who, but you did an interview and basically a
knowledge.
a verbal test like we do now, but not as intent as we do now. And I think over the years we've improved that testing process and made it a lot better. So
Yeah.
but yeah, hey, and I'm here and you can't get rid of me.
We don't want to get rid of you. I know someday you'll probably think about retiring, but we have a lot of people in this organization that are older than you. You're still a young pup.
I'm still young. Hey, I got a lot of power left.
That's right.
So just and it's the business has changed a lot over the years. I think it's the class of trucker that we're dealing with right now has dropped off, and we need to get that back in. And we can't. We, the nation, need to get it back. We've just dropped off. And I know. I mean, I've done some work for some of these driver schools, and I know how they're going through and passing them, and it's nothing that makes me proud.
No.
It's we've got to get that class of driver back, and I think regulating them like we are now with the log system and whatnot is going to help a lot.
Yep.
Because they were running wild and they were
carrying 2 log books.
Well, not so much the 2 log books. It's just and the maintenance. They don't care. Nobody takes care of their equipment.
They don't know how.
No, and hey, if it quits stopping, well, then you run into something and turn in an insurance claim. And hey, and then here I am.
Yeah, how many times you've had these guys that back in the old days, I mean, a lot of these guys were fixing their own trucks.
Oh,
now
they
can barely tell you what. It has an engine and a transmission, but that's all they can tell you.
They'd get pulled over to scale. They'd have a brake that wasn't set right. They could crawl under it and adjust the brake. And boom, they were down the road and they were legal again. But
now they call them service.
And if they even go over the scales anymore, there's so many. I can take you on routes where they're bypassing the scales. You see more trucks going around the scales than you see going through the scales.
Yeah. Now you became a member what year?
Oh God, Steve, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. It's been, remember I'm getting older, so I'm not required to remember about that far. Remember specific dates,
That's okay. It doesn't have to be the exact date.
It had to be
what year. Remember?
Let's see. I went to work for Evers, I think in 78 or 9. So it would have been probably around 84 or 5. So it's been a few years.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's been quite a few years,
Yeah. So you were a member of the council when I got into the business 33 years ago, which doesn't seem possible, but time flies.
Well, we've always made mention of Bob Kinder in the past, and, and Bob taught me a lot as a friend, and as and when I worked at Northland, I mean, we used Kinder and Son back then, and Bob was Bob, and you had to do it right, which was good. I mean, I think anybody went through this Kinder school came out pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of people that used to work for him went on to do pretty well for themselves. So I do have to say that if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and a lot of guys wouldn't.
Nope. So take good credit because
give credit where credit's due.
Ornery as he was, and tough as he was, it was all good in the long run.
He was good for everybody that he touched.
Yep. So I couldn't agree with you more.
It's too bad he never came in and applied for membership.
Because he had a lot to
he had a lot to give.
Shared, yep.
Yeah.
He definitely a great man.
Yep.
Yeah, any stories that
None that you can tell.
that I don't have to edit, right? I think we might as well not tell them, right?
Yeah, because if we're gonna have to edit it, then we're gonna have to redo it again.
Too
anyway.
many bleeps.
No, a lot of, but I've learned a lot. You know, a lot of people have taught me. You know, and I like to think maybe I've helped a bunch of people too. It just
Definitely.
and I think that was one of the main reasons I wanted to be a member, was because there was so much knowledge in this group, and sometimes you had to pinch somebody to get it out of them. But most of the time, if you reached out to somebody, they would tell you what you needed to know.
Did you notice any from the time you became a member, how much, what changes, how many changes have been made?
There have been a lot of changes, and I think a lot for the better. Early on, it was a small group, and it was going to stay small. And at the same time, the companies realized they're right in business in more areas than just where this group is. We need to, we need people in each state, and that's what helped the expansion and brought more knowledge in. That's what builds an organization, is the knowledge of its members, and how good they come together. And then the guys sit around and BS, and one thing leads to another, and you say, hey, have you had this problem? And all of a sudden, all of a sudden everybody's ears going like this. Hey, maybe I have had that problem. Maybe I should listen a little more.
Yeah.
And they go back. I've always gone home with something new, and so it's been good.
Yeah, whether it be an educational program or, as you said, just sitting around a bar having a conversation. Next thing you know, you've learned something.
Yeah, and
it's nice to have that camaraderie.
It is, and in so many different areas, different things happen. And sooner or later, because it's the trucking industry and they're transit, they're going to end up in your area, and so that whatever experience they had there will ultimately end up in your area. So it's just good to share.
Was there any particular person or group of people that decided that the organization needed to grow, and why we needed to grow?
I think initially it was spurred by the company people, and of course the adjusters. Well, I don't want any more people in my area, but there's so much work out there. We just need knowledge, but the company people, I think, are the ones that spurred it on, because they knew they needed more help, and they knew where their trouble areas were, and so many of them have used people that aren't members of the council that are good adjusters, and so bring that knowledge in. Bottom line, knowledge is the king. The more knowledge you have, the less trouble you get into.
Yeah, so you've been around for quite a while. You've been doing this for quite a while, and it's like, no matter how long you've been in the business and how much you think you know, you're always going to learn something.
Yeah, and that's they bring somebody new in, or we bring somebody new in. It's just another source of knowledge. It's another reach out and touch someone.
Yeah. So
it's a good deal.
It is. I say I haven't been part of this organization as long as you have, but I've noticed that it's getting better as each year goes on. We're doing whatever we can to make it better.
Exactly. Our educational programs have gotten better. We need a little more member participation in these education. And I think, and I know I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I think, oh hell, I know that, or why am I going to waste my time doing that? You know what? You're not wasting your time. And if you go check it out, you're going to bring something back.
Yep.
Bottom line, go get some more of that knowledge.
Have you been on any committees or on the board since you've been?
I was, years ago, many years ago, I was on the board, and then I was on the membership committee. And
what did you do on the board?
I was a director on the board, but that was so long ago. It wasn't as well organized as it is now. I hate to say it, but at that time, I think being on the board was more a position that you were just there.
Were you there for PR or what was your duties as a director?
But, you know, to tell you the truth, I don't even remember. It's been that long ago.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I probably was maybe 4 years in at that time, so it's been a few years back. And then I remember the membership committee very well because, oh my, writing letters and trying to get people to respond, and yeah, you know, and these people are supposed to be your sponsor. Why, you want to sponsor this guy? Give it up. And the biggest offenders, this I shouldn't say, biggest offenders were the company guys. The company sponsors getting their, and I'm sure that they run into that every day now. Even, you know, you've got to get the responses for these people to be able to get in.
Did you have to have sponsors when you were?
I did.
Who sponsored you?
Northland was one. Let me think now. God, now you're asking me. I had Northland, and I had, gee, Merry Christmas. John Horton, Jack Evers, and who?
So John Horton was with Carolina.
Carolina Casualty, yep. And then John Merceau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
with Harco.
With Harco at the time, yeah. So those were my company sponsors, and of course, Corral Cragen. But you know, I think it was Craig. I can't remember who. And there again, years go by.
Well, I'd say it's gone 30 plus years, and it's just probably doesn't even seem like it's been that long.
It really doesn't, you know. But the changes you see have all been good. If we can keep people moving ahead, you know, this organization will continue to be good.
Yeah, I think it's improved a lot just in the short time I've been involved.
Yeah,
it's like when I was first asked to become more a part of the committees and all this, and I was kind of reluctant at first, but it's a good thing. You know, once you get into it, then it's nice to be involved, and you get to know the people of the organization a lot better than you did just being sitting back and observing.
Well, see, and I think all of us, I bet you everybody in that room is very reluctant to say, I volunteer. But if you get them on, get them involved, you're going to get 100% of their help. Yeah. But, you know, you just kind of got to pry them out of the seat and say, hey, we got a new seat for you. Let's come over and try this. And then you the whole organization benefits from their knowledge again, you know. But you gotta prod them, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Go out to the old cattle truck, grab the prod, and say, "Come on, we need a little help." So, you know, I just can't say that I'm good about it. It's done me. It's given me so many advantages I never would have had without it. You know, like I said, the people that are willing to share, the people that will, you know, and there's, over the years, there's been petty little things, and there always is, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you're going to run into that. But you put those things aside, and you embrace what's there, you win.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody wins. So,
you couldn't have said it any better.
You know, that's just the way it's got to be.
Yeah.
You see it every day in life. You know, put those little differences away. Come on, let's get this done.
Yeah.
You know, we can do great things if we work together. That's bottom line. Work together. Many, many good things will happen.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of people that are willing to work and work hard. You know, and we got a lot of people sitting here that just need that little prod. And it'll just keep growing the organization, and hey, we'll all be happy and we'll all be smarter.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the key to it as far as I can see.
Yeah. I agree. Anything you'd like to add?
No, sir. I think we've done very well.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time again. You know, we tried to do this in San Diego, but
This
Just didn't quite work. With people
this was
walking
this
by.
was better. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a much better deal.
Yeah,
you know,
so I appreciate you doing
the-
this, and it's
the
nice.
well,
People get to know you a little bit now. They know who you are, what you're all about. You know how you got into the organization, and
just hey,
it's like some of the people we've lost a couple of members. Luckily, we were able to get Ron Tolgren his interview, and
yeah.
that's you couldn't ask for a nicer person. That guy would just do
Tolgren's-
anything that he did. Even if he just met you, it was like he'd known you for his whole life. You know?
He was a good man.
Yes, he was.
He just not a problem there.
Nope.
You know, and Gene Linker, Dan's dad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we've lost a lot of good guys. You know,
Yeah.
we need to finish picking everybody's brain. What's left of them? There's some slim pickings out there.
Yeah.
I know I'm guilty.
We all are.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you for
Well, thank
taking
you.
the time.
No, it's my pleasure. It's always been a pleasure.
Yeah.